Eric, in regards to players that stood out during the spring, and of course your access is limited, but it's still far greater than everybody else's that's in the fan base and in the media. So just your thoughts about maybe who stood out and who maybe really helped themselves the last few weeks.
Yeah, I'll start on defense since I just talked offense a little bit. And with DJ Johnson, he's a defensive end that has the past couple of years been working on offense a little bit. He was a full tight end in 2020 during the COVID year. And last year he kind of started at tight end, but there were some injuries. So he played defense. And kind of the whole year he was kind of a foot in both waters, I guess. And he's now full-time defense. And in the spring game, he had 4 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 7 tackles, was really the kind of the star of the game. And we're recording this a couple hours before the NFL draft where Kayvon Thibodeaux is going to hear his name draft really early. And I think there was a lot of concern, a lot of question marks about who would fill that role. And I want to be very clear. I'm not saying he's the same player Kayvon Thibodeaux is, because this is a 6th-year guy whose production to this point isn't anywhere near what Kayvon is. But for a team that really needed some production and kind of needed somebody off the edge to kind of shore up some of that, I think DJ really answered the bell. And it wasn't just the spring game. He was pretty regularly involved with the first team of defense and kind of making some disruptive plays. So I think that's where I'd start. And I think on offense, I already mentioned his name briefly, but Seven McGee was a guy who we entered spring going, is he a running back? Is he a receiver? Well, he's a receiver. And I wasn't expecting this, but I have him penciled in as a starter come fall because he looks like one of the more explosive players they've had in this offense in several years. He's been compared previously to D'Anthony Thomas. And again, I just said DJ Johnson isn't Kayvon Thibodeaux. Seven McGee isn't D'Anthony Thomas, but you understand the comparison there in terms of kind of the stature, how dynamic they are. And even that first catch I mentioned earlier, the 70-yarder, he kind of had a little bit of the D'Anthony Thomas footwork there, kind of in the slalom with the defensive back was trying to track him and lost some ground on where he was. So you started to see some of the skill players, and a guy like Seven, I think he entered spring going, where does he fit? And now you feel pretty good about kind of what his role will be going forward.
You'll get Oregon fans excited hearing the name D'Anthony Thomas. That's, of course, epic. It's all-time great Oregon status right there. So, again, similar games, but not putting him on the level of D'Anthony Thomas. Right. When it comes to DJ Johnson, again, not comparing him to a great player who could turn out to be a great NFL player, but there's not a whole lot of guys out there that contribute 25 tackles in their career, 7 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks. 11 catches on the offensive side with 3 touchdowns. That's pretty rare combination of skill set too.
It is. And if you think back to last year against Ohio State, he actually had a pretty much like, I don't want to say game clinching, but a key sack and then also a first down reception a couple plays later to kind of seal it. That's the kind of player DJ Johnson is. And again, he's been around for a while, started his career at Miami. He's been at Oregon 5 years, but you start to see if he can be fully kind of fixated and focused on defense, I think there's probably quite a bit there more to be untapped.